we've talked about the fact that there is, I think, a chief of staff or deputy chief. I don't remember the exact title, but Tucker Carlson's son works very, very closely with JD Vance, and it makes some people nervous. And I think that that's a reasonable thing for people to be nervous about. And I think it's reasonable to ask questions. This is not a child. This is a grown man working for JD Vance who has access to lots and lots of information and also access to a media person who is very biased on all kinds of different levels, right? Which we've talked about ad nauseum. And so there was a reporter, I think her name's Sloan, that asked some questions. And I thought that we were living in the age where we're supposed to ask questions, that it's good to ask questions. And she was asking the questions, which I thought were appropriate. By the way, Buckley is this kid's name. His uncle, Tucker's brother, is also named Buckley. And that Buckley, the brother of Tucker Carlson, has been retweeting some very problematic, like, pro Fuentes kinds of things. So yeah, there's reason to think that there are issues within JD's office that may need to be addressed. And so Sloan Rackmuth tweeted, "Today we learned that Tucker Carlson's brother idolizes Nick Fuentes. Racism and anti-Semitism is a Carlson family trait. Is Tucker's son Buckley, who serves as JD Vance's top aide, also a vile bigot? America deserves to know how deep the Carlson's family ethnic and religious hatred runs."
I think it's a great question.
I think it's fair.
I think it's fair too. I mean, the kid got the job because of who his dad is.
I mean, well, he's actually, yeah, I mean, he's been, I forget the other congressperson that he worked for, but he actually worked in somebody else's office prior to that. And
yeah, but you don't think
he does a great job.
I'm sure he does.
Seems to be well qualified.
But you don't think that he got those doors open to him because of who he is? Come on, Mock.
Oh, I mean, I'm not doubting it.
Right.
But there are people who are saying it's wrong for this journalist to ask these questions. And
I don't think it's wrong.
JD Vance is one of the people. He went after her quickly. And so he saw that tweet and he said, Sloan Rackmuth is a quote unquote journalist who has decided to obsessively attack a staffer in his 20s because she doesn't like the views of his father. Every time I see a public attack on Buckley, it is a complete lie. And yes, I notice every person with an agenda who unfairly attacks a good guy who does a great job for me.
He probably does do a great job, but the problem is that he has racist and anti-Semitic people in his family. He's a high-profile guy, and he has family members who are racist and anti-Semitic. He's got to deal with that head on. He's in politics. That's politics, baby. Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
JD is also going to have to deal with this. This is going to become a bigger issue for him. Nick Fuentes just got done, a couple weeks ago, calling JD Vance's wife a dirty Jeet. Right. And JD still hasn't responded to that, yet he goes in full attack dog mode for Tucker's son. There's going to be some questions about that.
It is a little weird.
JD's going to have his hands full trying to play both sides of this fence. So it's a concern. And there's a guy who is friends with JD. What is his name? I can't, you're going to see it on the screen. I think it's Dreher. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it. He wrote a Substack about some discoveries that he made about the staffing at the Capitol in general. If you could go ahead and read this summary. The summary comes from Open Source Intel. It's Rod Dreher. Read this.
In case you missed it, prominent conservative writer Rod Dreher, a longtime friend of Vance, sounded an alarm this month. He said that roughly 30 to 40% of Republican staffers in Washington under the age of 30 are Groypers or Nick Fuentes fans. Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Rod writes, I was able to have a few minutes with the vice president. I shared with him my views about the threat that Nick Fuentes and Groyperism pose to the country, to the GOP, and to him personally. He listened to what I had to say, and that is all I can say about it out of respect for his privacy. There's a dangerous disease moving through the system, and the people who should be confronting it are pretending it is not there. By the time they finally decide to deal with it, it will be far too late. And to the vice president, there is no reason to swing at the reporter. You can answer plainly. You can note that Tucker offered a soft interview to someone you yourself labeled as a white supremacist. You can acknowledge that Tucker Carlson's brother, Buckley Carlson, is a fan of Nick Fuentes and has accused Jewish conservative hosts of being foreign agents, then you can point out that your deputy press secretary, also named Buckley Carlson, 28, and Tucker Carlson's son does not share any of those views. So this is the thing. And I know that sometimes in our comment section, people will be like, why are you talking about this? Because this is a dangerous disease moving through the system.
Yeah.
And people who are not confronting it are doing so at our demise. Like, this is a problem, you guys. It's a problem that's going to be a problem in 2028. It's going to be a big effing problem.
And probably in 2026.
Yeah, probably in 2026. And so we're trying to confront the problem head on right now in advance, preemptively, before it gets out of control. And people who are like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. You chicks are just like making something out of nothing. We're not, because we've been in this game for almost 20 years and we see patterns and we know what's happening. This is literally like our 20th rodeo. Okay. We've seen this crap before. This is actually worse than it's ever been. So we see it happening. It's like brewing in the background, and it's going to get bad in 2028. Yeah.
It is. And JD's going to have to contend with this. And this was not the way to do it. I don't think that this was good for him.
Right.
So we'll see how he manages it. In the meantime, Matt Gaetz, who's also been highly questionable lately, and who it's now been discovered had a very, very bigoted anti-Semitic producer on his show. This is super interesting. He came out in defense of him. Apparently this guy had tweeted something super anti-Semitic and ultimately deleted it after being called out like crazy. And Matt jumped to his defense. And so here's what he said. My producer, Vish Burra, posted something dumb this week. He knew it was dumb and quickly deleted it. I too have posted dumb things on social media without thinking. Some I've deleted, some I haven't. And I've had to pay some consequences along the way. Vish will too. I'm not the internet hall monitor of any of my coworkers, thankfully. I can say on the Matt Gaetz show, we do not believe in applying bigotry to any group of people, no matter where they live or how they worship. We stand against such bigotry every weeknight at 9 p.m. on OAN. And so then somebody was like, I call bullshit on all of that because it was not just one dumb tweet. And this person pointed out several instances, a huge pattern. And this is a Jewish woman, Stella Escobedo, and she works at OAN. And so she said, hey, Matt, trying to understand a few things. You said that post was quickly deleted, but it stayed up for several hours. Can you clarify? By the way, here are some other public posts from Vish that I'm trying to understand. 1, calling a Jewish woman a stinky yenta. Telling a Jewish woman, you sound like a leftist, we don't want you in the Republican Party. Posting about Jewish American conservative Elizabeth Barkahana, who often appears on OAN, and writing, Israel firster, Elizabeth Barkahana proves the 19th Amendment was a mistake.
Oh my God.
Defending someone in a Nazi uniform on Halloween, writing, America first means not being held hostage by a nearly century-old post-war consensus fairy tale about what happened in World War II. Was he referring to the Holocaust as a fairy tale? Just asking, she said. And then, amazingly, given the time that we're in right now, that guy got fired. So One America fired Vish Burra. This was yesterday after he posted a cartoon last week that characterized Jewish people as scheming cockroaches that he later labeled as vermin. Way to pick them, Matt. Way to pick them.
Look at his face.
I know, it's so surgified.
It's very surgified. Yeah.
Don't F with your face. And also, speaking of crazy, you would be crazy not to give your dogs rough greens.
You guys, I know that all the dog and cat lovers are out there. You guys are our people. So you need to give them rough greens. You should totally do that. Also, you should totally give them the book, A Natural Path to Pet Health. I always screw up the title of it. A Natural Path to Pet Health. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who is the founder of Rough Greens. He is also like BFF of ours and sponsor of the show. He has an awesome new book out. That's the book. That's him. Super nice guy. He's a big supporter of us in the show. And we want you to support his book because it has a ton of great information in it. It includes over 35 pet-friendly recipes. People cook for their dogs, you guys. And
And
you
it ends up
should.
being cheaper. It ends up being
That's
cheaper
true.
than like dog food.
It's true. And then you still can sprinkle the rough greens on it, which is really great.
Mhm.
There's natural solutions for like digestion and joints and skin health and all that kind of stuff, and ways to save money, which is really great. Kind of like what Mock said. It's super straightforward, really down to earth. It's written in a really like easy way, like easy read. And then most of all, it just makes wellness like super manageable. So get your free Jumpstart trial bag. Pay for shipping. That's all you got to do. Check out his book, roughgreens.com/book to purchase your copy of the book, roughgreens.com/book. Do it.